Hi Aquarius, and welcome to my channel. My name is Echo Moon, and I will be giving you your June 2018 love reading. This is a general reading, so this is going to apply to some. It may not apply to all. This is for both couples and singles. I might split them up in the future, but I will address different scenarios for different people. Just looking at things from a different viewpoint. What am I missing? This is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And I'm an Aquarius, Moon, and Venus, so let's get it into it. Because this is for me too, guys. Okay, so we have your situation, your focus, your challenges, the advice, and the outcome. In your situation, we have the Eight of Air, which is the Eight of Swords, okay? This is mentally restricting yourself, kind of like a mental self-sabotage. And you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant represents many things: spirituality, tradition. So you could be like worrying yourself over the traditions that you're following. You know what I mean? This could be you upping your head either because you don't want to conform to the traditional sense of a relationship, or that's exactly what you want. You want that traditional relationship. You want that, I don't want to say finality, but you want that happy ending. You could be dealing with someone and you want to get engaged. You could be in the midst of getting married, and you're kind of like in your mind a little bit too much, when in reality it's kind of like you're kind of putting it on yourself. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, just relax a little bit. Stop. Don't overanalyze it. In your focus position, this is good. In your focus position, you have the Ace of Water. So you're focused on, healing and beginning a new stage of love. This is new love coming in, okay? Or if you're in a relationship, this is a new stage. This is you beginning a new stage when it comes to love. And then you have the Four of Fire, which is a celebration card. It's the marriage card. So that's what ties into the Hierophant. It could be a situation where either you want to get married. If you're single, then this is what you want. This is your desires. These are your focus. This is like your end goal, which is like, all right, you could be focused on your career. Your career could be fine, but ultimately, if you don't have anybody, then that's what you want. That's what you want to focus on. And maybe you're up in your mind because it's just like, well, am I going to get what I want? Am I going to get that? Love, that traditional love. I feel like with Aquarius, like Aquarians, like sometimes, well, again, it depends on where it is in your chart, but with Aquarians, they're kind of like the rebels of the zodiac. They kind of don't like to conform to what society feels is the norm. So maybe that could be what is in your mind. Is kind of like, well, what this person's idea of marriage and tradition is not exactly meshing with mine. But ultimately, I feel like you're on the same page because, if you are dealing with somebody, if you have a significant other, or if you are, engaged, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever your preference is, okay? You are focused on getting that love so that way you can have that home life, that structure, that celebration, that wedding that you want. And it's going to be the wedding in the way that you want it, okay? It doesn't have to be the traditional wedding. It's going to be the Aquarian version of that wedding, okay? So in your challenges, you have the King of Water. So you could be dealing with a water sign, not necessarily. This could be you, because the King of Water is someone who is they are emotional, but they have the ability to hide their emotions. They're generous, they're empathetic, they have that, and this is not gender specific, so it can be male or female, but they have that fatherly or motherly, feel to them, where it's like people can come to you and tell you about their problems. You know what I mean? So that's the energy of the King of Water. In the case of why it's in your challenge position, it could be that you are emotionally closing yourself out, closing yourself down, and it could be because you're kind of overanalyzing your current situation. So it's like you want new love, you want to begin all of that, and that's all fine and dandy. But at the same time, and I think I just said this for Virgo, but you have to be able to not be so detached, because Aquarians are mental too. They like to analyze things as well. So it's kind of like you need to get in touch with your emotional side, because not everybody's going to be feeling the same way that you're feeling. You know what I mean? So you can't assume that. So that's a challenge. You also have the Ace of Air, which is the Ace of Swords. So this is not getting clarity. You're not being clear on what you want, or you're not having that clarity that you need when it comes to your love life. And it's putting you in a state of confusion, which could also be why you have the Eight of Swords there. There's too much going on. There's too many options. There's it's like you're feeling disillusioned. If that's the word, disillusioned. Yeah, like a sense of disillusionment. You know what I mean? Like, this girl's like lost in the sauce. But she's looking at all her options. She's happy though. She's in a la 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 state. But at the same time, it's kind of like your judgment could be clouded. Your judgment could be clouded, and you need to focus on getting that clarity. It could also be if you are dealing with a situation where you are in the midst of getting married, or you are getting engaged. If too many people are, telling you what to do, then that can be confusing too. It's kind of like, I want to do things the way I want to do them, but the challenge is kind of blocking everybody out and kind of cutting through those options, all of this, stuff going on. So that way you can get that clarity and not be here. Not be in the Eight of Swords energy. Excuse me, I need to drink some water. So, and your advice is go to sea, which is kind of like take a break, step away, take a breather, think about what you want, go with the flow of things. And you also have co-create, come together with someone, manifest. This is what you want. If you want love, manifest it. Don't get stuck in your head. Let go a little bit, loosen up a little bit. This person that you're dealing with, or this person that you're interested in, if you're single, they could be someone who inspires you. And it's kind of like, let's look at it from a single's point of view. It could be where you're interested in someone, you could be talking to somebody at the beginning stages. Obviously, you know what you want, but this person could be confusing you. You could be maybe a little bit too much in your head, to the point where you're kind of overthinking the relationship. You could be kind of jumping the gun, so to speak, like, thinking about the future when you really need to stay in the present and just go with it. Just go with the flow and co-create. Some of you guys, the advice could be, if you are married, if you are, you know, in a situation, you could be giving birth, you could be thinking about, you know, co-creating, bringing a child into this world. If that's if that's what you want, you know what I mean? That's where the advice comes in. It's like, if that's the direction that you're heading in, traditionally celebrating love, this also can mean fertility, the Ace of Water, fertility, pregnancy. Some of you guys could be pregnant, you know, or wanting to get pregnant. Maybe you might be having some issues with that, and that's where you're in your head a little bit too much. But the advice is to relax. You know, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just go with the flow. You know, work with your partner, and you will co-create. You will manifest that, you know, that wish that you want. The outcome is you have reach out and you have open up. So reach out is like the 3 of Pentacles. This is, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, if you're confused, you know, if you're in your mind, then, you know, call a friend or a family member, someone that you're close with. Reach out. Or reach out to your partner and actually talk to them about it. You know, don't hold on to things that may not be in control, which is where open up is. Like, sometimes you gotta let go of your worries, and that's the way the advice is, go with the flow. You know what I mean? So open up is the 4 of Pentacles in this deck. So it's kind of like release whatever it is that you're holding on to. This is not a bad reading at all, Aquarius. This is decent. Let's get some clarifiers. We're going to clarify these 3. Actually, I'm going to clarify the outcome too. Okay? So let's get a clarifier for Aquarius' situation. So we got the 8 of Swords and we have the Hierophant. So what do we have for a clarifier here? The Page of Scrolls. So that is, in the traditional deck, the Page of Swords. This is a message of truth. This could be being honest with yourself. You know, somebody doesn't necessarily have to be giving you the message. This is you coming towards that, you know, solution, or coming towards that point where it's just like, you know what, let me be honest with myself. Like, either I don't want that traditional marriage, I don't want to follow tradition when it comes to a relationship. You know why? And you're stuck in your head. So it's kind of like, now you need to come to terms with something. Come to terms with your truth. Let's get a clarifier. Alright, so let me do this. I'm going to clarify the rest, and then I'm going to go over them. Let me just pull the clarifiers. Okay. Hello again. I just seen you in the other reading too. Sweet. So there's love here, Aquarius. If you're dealing with someone, there is love here. If you're not dealing with someone, then love is on its way. That's the outcome. You have the Lovers, even though I'm jumping past these 2. But the reason why I'm doing that is because you have a lot of cards here that are representative of love, that are representative of emotions. So we already clarified this section. So this section, you have the Queen of Cups. You could be actually dealing with your soulmate. You could be calling in your soulmate with the Hierophant here, connecting spiritually. I say this because we have the Queen of water and also the king of water in the reading. So usually if they're the king and the queen of the same suit, then it could be a soulmate that you could be dealing with. But either way, there's love here. If you're in a relationship, there's love. And I feel like, you know, you're going to move to the next step. I just feel like you just have to stop overanalyzing things. You know, get in touch with that emotional side. Don't detach. Don't go in your mind and just, you know, detach and feel like, hey, you know, I have that issue myself. Not to digress, but I have that issue. It's just like, well, I feel that way, don't you? It's just like, don't we feel the same way? It's like, no, we don't feel the same way. So, you know, don't assume, you know, that that person is on the same page as you when it comes to the relationship. You know, make sure that you get out of your mind and you're communicating with them. And in the situation, you're communicating all right. So you have the Queen of Cups clarifying the beginning of love. You know, the celebration card. So this is all love here. This is, you know, your focus is getting, you know, being, I don't want to say emotional, but being like sensitive, like being vulnerable, like, you know, kind of shifting your thing. Like, you know, like I said, sometimes Aquarians can be detached, but it's kind of like in this sense, you're not detaching. You're actually saying, hey, I want this. What is clarifying your challenge position is Kali. This is the Tower. And this is one of your challenges. The challenge is putting back together the pieces of things that could have fell apart in the past. Things that, you know, kind of blocked you emotionally and made you shut down and start looking at other options. I'm giving a situation here, okay? So I'm not trying to confuse you, but if this is in the challenge position, then your challenge could be, you know, putting things back together, getting it together, you know, because the Tower is an uncomfortable moment. This is something that was unexpected. It kind of split your world apart, split your world in two. So your challenge could be kind of like putting it back together. And again, the Eight of Air, the Eight of Swords in your situation position, that could be part of your challenge too, trying to put back together the pieces of your relationship. Putting back the pieces, speaking to spirit, wanting a new start with love, wanting to celebrate with someone, wanting to be joined with someone, wanting to be vulnerable and just have that sense of, you know, getting what you actually want when it comes to your relationship. In your way, though. Like in your non-conformist, in your non-traditional. And, you know, again, this goes by your chart. So me, I have double Aquarius, and I actually have a lot of Aquarius in my chart, but my Venus and my moon, which pretty much is love in this sense, it's Aquarius, and I am very much an Aquarian in every sense of the word when it comes to that. So I can relate. And for your outcome when it comes to reaching out, so, you know, asking for help and letting go of things that you're holding on to a little bit too much. Once you do that, you have love here. You know, you have your soulmate here. This card can also represent options too. Letting go of things that you're holding on to a little bit too tight. And once you do, then your options will open up. You know, you'll have a choice to make. That's what it is choices. You know, which direction do you want to go in when it comes to your relationship? But open up to the person that you love. You know, let them know how you feel. And don't assume, like I keep saying, don't just assume how they're going to feel and how they should feel. Talk to them, communicate with them, get the clarity. Aquarius, thank you for watching my video. I wish you love and light and many blessings. I hope you enjoy the rest of your month, and I will see you on the next video. Please like, subscribe, and comment below, and I will see you shortly. Bye.